Hello guys, it's Rosa Heart. DeLorean Peripheral, what are you doing in the heart? What is going on? We want to tell you about this later, but we can no longer afford to wait. We are only on chapter 4. DeLorean helps Peripheral to a chair. I tend to take a seat offered to the two of them. We are going to tell you the whole truth of the situation. The whole truth. DeLorean sighs before she officially speaks. Do you know why I cursed you, Princess? Some twisted sense of mischief? That's not the whole reason. We needed you to change your ways, Princess. Change how you see the world. If we didn't do something, you were going to end up as mislifted, as cold-hearted as your mother. What are you talking about? My eyes go to Peripheral, but she doesn't meet my gaze. Heaven, your mother was not always so cruel. Her eyes looked watery, as she looked like she was to cry. Or are you speaking as if you knew her? She was my friend, long before she was queen. Hun was like a sister to me. But she changed when the witches' hunt started. What does the witch hunt have to do with mother? Priv does not meet my gaze, but Dory looks right at me. Your mother was a witch, Rose, the most powerful of the witches in fact. Her was the term Baron. My eyes drip into a pit of my stomach. No, that is impossible. I have never saw her use any magic. She could not be a witch. That's what she wanted you to believe. You cannot keep something like that a secret. If you try hard enough, you can keep anything a secret. Sorry. If you... yeah, regret that. But how? Okay, that's just my auto text to telling me my phone bill. Lauren pauses for a long moment before she speaks. She erased your memory, Rose. The air leaves my lungs as I struggle to remain calm. Wilson said Mother ordered my memories to be erased, but are they saying that if Mother herself who erased my memories? Young pieces of memories and thought beginning to snap together in my mind. She needed you to obey and complete. Whenever you act out, she took that memory of disobeying from you. Ouch. And it didn't take long at all to mold you into her perfect and unclean little doll. I grabbed the dress without realizing my hands are shaking. Then I did know Walt's mother really did erase my memories of him. How much of my childhood did I lose? I hadn't shown humans before. She was kind of selfish. She was sent into mainland to balance the balloon and the turn. But Hans, Thor moved to place a gently hand on Peripheral's shoulder. It's not your fault. I trusted him too much. He swore that then would only be stories, small affections to share with his children. And wanted to turn himself away from it, but I declared. I allowed Hans to wave his talents about witches and fairies. The fairy tales. DeLorean nods. Hans' fairy tales became huge popular and a practice ever since one of his stories. It was a witch who was bad and a fairy who was good. To add into inject, it was well known that Hans had been welcomed by the Lun Baron, but not by the Turn Baron. The humans took that information and their image ran wild. Hans and I went to Hans to beg him to tell him the truth, but it was too late. No matter what Hans said, everyone believed that he was being threatened by the witches. I did not think he ever meant things to get out of Hans either. You know, why couldn't he write a few stories where witches were good? This is all his fault. When the king at the time, your grandfather, also voiced his negativity on the witches, he only added fuel to the fire. It was as if he was giving humans permission to carry out their witch genocidal, and we could do nothing to defend ourselves. We were bound by our oath, never hurt a living soul. The witch hunts last for years. Most of us were slaughtered. All witches are bound to Terran Baron, though. The Terran itself. Helen felt each of the deaths like it was her own. It drove her mad, and she broke our oath. She killed the king, your grandfather. Mother killed my grandfather? And Helen's power kept growing. More and more good witches were coming through her influence on the Terran. I tried to stop her, but she was already lost to reason. Helen wanted to take Alan for the witches. She wanted to take revenge on the humans for what they have done to all of us. And since your father was next in line, Helen forced Glenn to marry her so she would claim to the throne. And she did it even though she knew he loved another woman. The very woman who sits on the throne today. Often, Gloria nods. The king was always loved. Often, Hen created the fairy tale curse to punish the humans. She wanted to fuel the Terran with the hatred and anger. Hen's voice became very soft. The balance between dark and lightness was lost. While Hen lived, Anne was a piece of grief. I could feel a headache coming. But even if what you were saying is true, Mother is dead. She's been dead for 4 years. She is. But for some reason, the witches are becoming more agitated. Jack and Jill Perron have confirmed this. Fairfield, is that why they disappeared at night? I had to cast a Glen on you so that other witches would be unable to recognize you as the princess. But it seems like that they already seen through your glamour. They are looking for you, princess. The witches are looking for you. What? Why? The Terran needs a baron. A witch needs to take on the role and regard the balance between the Lun and the Terran. For the past few years, it's been stayed Hen. We believe Hen infused her life into the Terran to keep it stable. But now the Terran is beginning to wake up again. We believe that why so many people are being cursed lately. The witches are preparing for their new bearer. Throwing turns to me with action I could not quite read. They only have to wait until you turn 18. The areas in the room seems to disappear all at once. Princess, on your 18th birthday, your curse will break regardless of whether you complete 3 good deeds. And you will become the Terran Baron. You will inherit her title and the power from your mother. Impossible. My heart is racing. I feel faint. Even if Mother was a witch, I cannot use magic at all. All half-lives like you inherit their magic at 18. No, I am human. Princess. Florence turns to grin as she speaks. We've been watching over you for a long time, Rose. We know that you of influence your mother has on you. The curse was a test. We needed you to know that you wouldn't return to what it was when your mother was a queen. We couldn't allow another great war to tear us apart. Lori and I believe that there is still goodness left in you. You just need a wake-up call. Those, the curse, and 3 good deeds. We wanted you to see that what you haven't have it in years, to expose the real truth of things. And above all, we needed to see if you were capable of 3 good deeds. I attempt to grab the feeling through my thought, but no void, I feel numb. That is it, no more secrets. Perfume's voice is gentle when she speaks to me. The future of the kingdoms is in your hands. Will you follow your mother's footsteps, or will you gain the same balance that we had before? No matter how much I tried, I am unable to sleep after my talk with DeLorean Perifio. Mother was a wicked witch, and I am the next bearer of the terror. It all makes sense now. So many people hated me because they thought I would be just like Mother. I feel like the weight of that truth crushing down on me, and it's suffocating. What am I supposed to do now? I turn my side and begin my knees to my chest. How do I know, what the truth is anymore? Suddenly, an idea occurs to me. There is one other person who might know the truth, Watson. I wonder how he is doing. I slip out of my room and make my way towards Watson. Hi, Watson's room. Watson is sound asleep when I push the door open to his room. He looks small on the bed. I pause to look at the hand mounted herbs laying on the table. Those herbs. I remember Alice once telling me they help with pain. Rumple and Alm have given Watson a lot of them. Though about the truth of my mother returned to the back of my mind, as I echoed with vague. Watson would never have gotten hurt if it wasn't for me. My eyes start to sting, or cry. For the first moment in years, I let my tears flow freely. I do not even know why I'm crying. I find myself talking aloud. You said that crying doesn't make a person weak. But it clearly makes me feel that way. You're not weak, Princess. Aww. Watson? When did he wake up? You're the strongest person I know. The voice is soft and his words are slurred. He is cleared still under the influence of the medicine he's been given, but he still continues to speak. And everything you're going through, you still hang on your own 2 feet. I cannot lie anymore. I have only been pretending to be a strong person, but I cannot do this anymore. Knowing that all this time I have been living a life full of lies. I am questioning even my mother effects now. Another danger gloom for my thought, hanging back of my mind. If Mother did not care about it, what does that mean? No one did at all? I do. I care about you. Watson's voice begins to glow weak as his eyes suddenly close. You're tired, Watson. You should sleep. Rose. His voice slurs and slow, but hearing him say my name without the title felt nostalgic. Please don't cry. Little star. Watson closes his eyes, finally trying to sleep. I take a deep breath and leave his room, closing the door quietly behind me. Again! Okay. Abracadabra. Teach me how to do it, too. A magic never reveals its secret, little star. You always say that. Please. Just this once. Please, Watson. On your birthday, I'll teach you how to do it on your birthday. Promise? Promise. I wake up slowly. The dream somehow still clears in my eye. A dream about Walton. That was a memory. I shake my head before I glance at the clock, stopping to stare at it this time. How is it already this late? Princess? Walton. The door opened and Walton walks inside. A tray of food. He sets it down my bed as I stare at him in shock. You're finally awake. Walton, you're supposed to be in bed. I'm only injured and not infirm, Princess. But I'm fine, Princess. It's not like you to worry so much. I respond to his smile with a sigh. He will never heal properly if he does not stay in bed. Here, I wanted to give this to you yesterday. Walton reaches behind his back and pulls out a nearly wrapped box. It looks if he pulled it out of thin air. Another magic trick. He hands me the wrapped box. What is this? You need to open it to find out. How did he know? This is... I've been wanting this. You've been wanting this, haven't you? I stared down at the doll he brought for me, in the same one that caught my eye at the shop. The reason we went to the toy shop was so that he could buy this for me. Yep, I'm glad I didn't get damaged last night. My chest tightens with emotions. These dolls are expensive. Walton would have never needed more than just his usual show tips to buy this. Why would you buy this for me? I figure you might want that extra compliment. Plus, you always loved dolls so much. I thought this one might cheer you up. I stare at the doll as I curl her in my arm. My heart feels a little full in my chest. Thank you. I've never gotten an unexpected gift like this before. Walton clears his throat, and when I look up at him, I notice his expression is somehow sad. Lady Prettyview told me that she and DeLorean told you the whole story yesterday. I have to apologize to you. For what? The reason why they didn't tell you earlier is because I asked they keep it a secret. I look down at my doll, my mouth suddenly dry. Why? Because I wanted you to enjoy having a normal life, even if it was just for a short time. Knowing the truth limits your freedom. I didn't want you to feel that pressure so soon. But I can see now that it was suffocating of me to explain you of the truth. I'm sorry. I clenched tighter at the doll, unable to look up at Walton. Why would you be so kind, without expecting anything in return? Kindness doesn't always need to be paid back. When you do something for someone, they will always expect the favor to be returned. This is what Mother taught me. For what I have experienced, no one is ever kind without expecting something in return. I do not expect anything from you in return, Princess. But how can I know for certain that you speak the truth? Well, you can't. No matter what someone's true intentions are, their actions are always up for a different opinion. So it'd be up to you to judge their actions, okay? Only you can decide whether or not to believe in me. I pull my knees to my chest, curling up around the doll. I still do not understand how can be kind to me. You told me yourself it was the bear that cursed you. That means my mother. Your mother was the witch that took away my magic and sealed it in Neverland. But that does not mean it's your fault that I am cursed. You are more than just Honey's daughter, Princess. You are your own person, and I know for a fact you are capable of more goodness than Hun ever was. Walton jetted towards my necklace. You only 2 deeds away from breaking your curse. I would not accomplish the first one without your help. In fact, I have done nothing to help you break your curse. My voice trails off as my thoughts begin to come. Wilson, to break your curse, you need to find Tinkerbell and Neverland, right? What do they look like? Neverland is a gold box with a carving of wings on top of it, and Tinkerbell is the matching key. I sat up abruptly. We have to go to the palace. Wilson stares at me, his fresh and clear plan. What? Why? Because I know where to find Tinkerbell in Neverland. Walking of Neverland and Tinkerbell was enough to jog my memory. A long time ago, Mother gave me a box and a key that matched Walton earlier described perfectly. She gave me straight info to hide them in my room and never let anyone else have them. I have never questioned Mother's order and kept them both, the box and key, tucked in one of my drawers. I forgot I even had those things until Walton mentioned them. The minute I remembered, I sent a letter to Rod requesting he helped us get in the palace. I knew that our situation relationship would make it harder for him to trust me, so I didn't the importance of the item we need to obtain. A week later, he finally came through. Now we are outside the palace waiting for him. Jack and Jill are protecting us just in case I need assistance. I glance at Wilson, who is standing beside me, figuring he has been a son when coming with me ever since he found out my plans. He cannot stop me. I refuse to be left behind. You still won't change your mind about this, princess? You know the situation with the witches. It's not safe for you to be here. It is not safe for me anywhere outside the mansion. You know that. Besides, how do you know plans on fighting Neverland and Tinkerbell without me? I'm the only one who knows where they are. Like I said, it would just tell me where they are. I could on my own. There's no need for you to put yourself in so much danger. I am going to, and you're not stopping me, Walton. Princess, I turned to face him fully. This is my choice, Walton. I want to do this. For a moment, there's silence between us, and Walton studies my expression. He eventually sighs and shakes his head. I should have known by now that there's no change in your mind when you're determined to do something. Just promise to stay close to me, okay? I nod as I feel around my pocket for a small object, a file that Peripheral gave before Walton and I left the palace. She said it should help us when the need aside. It's a shame that neither Peripheral nor the Lauren could be here due to their unmeeting with the fairies. Jack and Jill finally arrived with Rob. Ready? I nod in reply. Hopefully nothing will go wrong. We made our way through the secret passage. I heard this secret passage from the king before, but it's the first time I've been here. They say that this was built escape route should need eventually family assassins. Only the commons of the Order of Celeste and the king knows about this place. Rod, how do you even know about this place? How did you get the key? I thought only the king and Sir Alan had the copy. It was Lady Peripheral who showed me the place and gave me the key. I cannot leave the palace unless on normal concessions, so she suggests I go through wherever I need to get to the Martian. Then how was she able to get a copy of the key? You should ask her that yourself. Anyway, you haven't even told me what you need from your room. It's an item that will break Walton's curse. I see. Why did it take you so long to respond to my letter? The palace has been on high alert since last week. Why? Walton stopped and looked at me, hesitated and cleared his throat. Did something happen? A week ago, the king received a letter, a warning. A letter? It said 3 days from now the king will be judged and crowned. His crown will give to one more worth. I stare at Rod with slow understanding. 3 days from now, but that date, your 18th birthday. I continue to stare at Rod in defeat. This cannot be a concession, but a new king? Do you think someone said to target my father? We will know that rulers are always in danger, but this threat has made the king especially nervous. Are the witches involved in this one? The sign falls without tunnels and heavy. They think there is a good chance that must be. That's why the Order of Celeste are tight security. We continue walking in silence. Eventually, Rod points at something ahead of us. Here we are. A dim light tunnel and rushy doors that leads us into the palace. Rod looks around, wondering why Austin and I duck into the shadows and curtain. The guards will be doing their rounds on this side soon. We need to hurry, right? The halls are thankfully quiet as we round them. Rod did a good job of scooping out the times of perils. Eventually, we reach my room. I stop at the door to my room, suddenly overheard by nonsense. It's been so long since I've been in my own room. Is this M's room now? No, the king ordered your room to be untouched since you were cursed. Then what has become of this room? I looked at Rod in shock. He studies the door of my room with a complete expression on his face. I think the maids are set in here to dust occasionally, but otherwise everything should be as it was before. But why would the king keep the room as if he does not remember me? I turn back to the door thoughtful, then glance at Rod. We can handle the rest. We should leave before you draw any unwanted attention. I do not want you in trouble. Don't worry, we'll find out a way to get you back to the passage without alerting anyone. What? You changed. What does that do? What do you mean by that? You never would have cared someone else's safety before. Rod turns to leave before I can respond. Be careful. Thank you. Jill and I will stand outside. Make it quick. I nod odd before turning back to the door and turning the knob. I glance at Walton and he nods at me. I take a deep breath and open the door. Rod told me that my room has been untouched since I've left, but I was not expecting it to be like this. Nothing has changed. Nothing, not a thing's out of place. There's not even a spot of dust or dolls on my shelf. Rose, I am confused to why my room was being untouched. Certainly, the king would have thought to do something else with it. Or, at the very least, he would not had maids come in and clean it. But I cannot let myself linger on questions. I have no time for them. We came here to find Neverland and Tinkerbell. I look at Wilson and nod. Let's us start searching. Time passed, but I am only able to find the key. The box is nowhere to be found, not even the drawers that I remember putting it in. To think that you had Neverland and Tinkerbell this whole time. Have you tried searching for it in my room before? I have, but I didn't find anything. She must have used a grammar spell to hide it from me. I stare at the king with focus. I do not understand. I am sure it was here. Are you sure you didn't throw it away? No, I would have never thrown away such a beautiful box. Besides, I kept most of my things that were valuable to me, even if I'm not overwhelmed beauty. I wouldn't have believed you if you haven't seen this. He leans down to pull a puppet from one of my drawers. He holds it up and smiles. I feel my cheeks heat up in embarrassment. Huh? I never remembered to throw that out. Austin glanced at me, thoughtful. There's the only reason. Well, I look at the puppets in his hand and find the truth spelled out for me. I'm never able to put a figure on it why, but I always liked that puppet. I smiled and stretched across Watson's face. You kept it even though I did such a bad job with the sewing? What? You made this? Yeah, this is the very first puppet I have ever made. Watson turns to the puppet in his hand. Looking down on it, I found before his eyes met mine. You were the one who taught me how to sew in the first place, you know. What? I was the one who taught him how to sew? I stare at the puppet. I probably kept it because you made it. How cruel, huh? Do you have any idea what you're doing to my poor heart? You seem perfectly fine to me. Watson shakes his head and sighs. Watson. So dense. What? The knob begins to turn. Watson and I fix a glance before each other, drawing tension high in place. I have myself on my bed. He runs behind the curtain, which was much easier than his small body. The king, what is he doing here? When the king steps inside, I notice there is something in his hand. Huh? That's the box, but why does he have it? I look at Watson and he gives me a small nod. Then, indeed, Neverland. Who's there? Show yourself now if you don't want to get hurt. The king uncertain his shirt. What should I do? I look at Watson, who sighs to me and stays in one place, his mouth something, and I think he says that he means to find a way to get us off. Is Watson going to shut himself again? Will he be alright? Or I should say real feel myself. No, I cannot let myself silence himself again for my sake. But Watson can retreat. I sing out of my hiding place and stretch in front of the king. The king eyes me as he looked at me. You're the girl from the gates. You remember me. It's more like I found it impossible to forget you. What? You have something else here with you, don't you? I race as I try to think what to do next, but Watson suddenly steps out behind the curtain and bows. It's been a while, Your Majesty. Watson. I remember that Watson has worked for Mother, so necessary that the king would know who he was. You haven't changed at all. This is unfortunately the case. The king stretches his throat in sadness and peers in his eyes. I'm sorry, Watson. What happened to you is... There's no need to apologize, Your Majesty. I did things that the things I did in past knowing. What are you talking about? I have a lot of questions for you two, but the most important is why you're both in this room. Regarding the fact that I know you, Watson, you still broke into the palace. We would not have done it if we did not have to. I said myself first, trying when the king turns to me. The box you are holding, we need to break the Watson curse. How did you come to have it, Your Majesty? The king looked down at the box as if noticing it for the first time. I was in this room the other day and I noticed the chip of the side of the box. I took it to fix it. A chip. I did drop it once back, but I think to get it fixed myself. Why do you do that? The king looked around the room afar and looked in his eyes. This room is special to me, though I do not know why. It feels like this room I are both waiting for someone to return, and everything must be perfect for them when they do. It felt a chest tighten, even the king huffed and laughed. What am I saying? He must not miss me when he does not remember me. He can't, right? But if this box all that you require, Watson, you may have it. It is the very least I can do after that you've done for us. The king holds out the box to Watson, who reaches out and takes it. Thank you, Your Majesty. Look who we have here. We all froze the sound of a new voice. I turn and find all two for leaning against them, makes a grin on their face. This is a sweet little ruse. Fag? What's Fag doing here? Oh, this is bad. I don't know what's going to happen. But this is very Fag. I told you I'd come back for you, didn't I? Fag taps his cannon on the floor, creating a shock powerful intrude across the room. That magic forced me against the wall. I collapsed to my knees, pain throbbing in my head. The king collapsed somewhere nearby. I hear the croak of the box land ground a few feet away from us. Walden holds out his hand. I take it and he helps me back to my feet. Rose, are you alright? Yes. Rose. The king looked at me questioning, but his glance does not linger. He looks towards Fag, his eyes narrow. Did the king remember who I was? Your Majesty, are you hurt? Making Shing shakes his head at Lawson before turning his attention to Fag, his eyes frowning. Who is this man? Your Majesty, this person is working for the Wicked Witches. What? Wait. What happened to Jack and Joe? They were just outside the door. What did you do to them? Ben crouched his head to the side. Who? The guards just outside. I'm sure they must have hidden themselves when the king comes to this room, but they still should have been able to see Fag coming. Guards, I'm afraid I do not know what you're talking about, Princess. Fag seems as he's telling the truth, but I cannot trust him. Please, let them be safe. I see Neverland a few feet from us. I cannot grab it, but Fag will probably throw my tent magic. I'll wait for an opening. I disregard him. Why I do that? The both of you need to run. What? I eyed Fag. He looked at the three of us, his lips slightly quirk, as if he's amused. This isn't the time to argue with me. No. Rose, we must protect the king's safety. I will help you. I do not know how, but I must do something. But we are in this together, Watson. I'm not going to run away while you suffocate yourself for us. Watson then clears, writing on his face, but he eventually sighs out, seeming to let it go. You are too stubborn for your own good. So I've been told. I turned to the king and placed my hand on his shoulder. Your Majesty, leave this to us. You have to escape somewhere or safe. That does not involve the king. It is me that Fag wants, after all. The king shakes his head as he removes my hand from his shoulder, stands up and moves in front of us before pulling his sword. Your Majesty, that kind of king would I'd be if I shook back and allowed two children to protect me. Majesty. Fag looked amused by our conversation. You know that I'm not letting you get away this time, Princess. It does not matter who stands in the way. Father, his cane is enchanted. You cannot hold him back just a blade. Father, I lost the words. It has been a long time since I've called him that. Much to my surprise, the king's lips pull into a soft smile. You said that the gate, the only one day when you were seeking advice with me. I have not been able to forget that day. Before I can say anything else in return, a ferocious voice breaks the silence. Oh, I wonder where all these voices are coming from. A ferocious man steps in the door. He strikes everyone in the room quietly. Mitzal, Your Majesty. Quickly, summon the knights. We have an intruder in the palace. He glances at Fag, who looks unpleased at her. Ain't true, you say? Farron turns to Fag. At first his expression is impatient, but then slowly his lips engage a sly smile. You're such a ruffling. Fag looks like this harm done. I only glance at Mythal in shock. If he knew Fag, then he must have been with the witches. You know this man. Explain yourself, Mythal. We were all thrown off by Sir Mythal's laugh. Soon his laugh became a mad crackle. There is something strange bright in his eyes, sending shivers down my spine. My apologies, Your Majesty. I was just amused at my servant's action behavior. At ease, Fag. Sir glances at Fag and slight comment to lower his cane. Vag obeys him before moving a corner room and leaning against the wall with this way. Don't worry, Your Majesty. You're not the one we're after. What? Sir Mithal turns his slur smile on me and said, take a step back. The princess is the lady you need to earn. Princess. This girl is a princess? That is correct. It is a shame you cannot remember your own daughter, even though she is standing right before you. Enough with your friend. Explain yourself. The king grabs the hilt of his sword tighter. I am not obeyed to explain everything to you. Try to think on your own change, Your Majesty. Mithal. Her Mithal ignores the curl's outburst and turns his attention to Watson. He then shifts and his slur smile turns into a grin. And look who we have here. I see that the trader has returned to the palace. Watson stares at him, looking puzzled. Sir Mithal tilts his head to the side and offers Watson a little smile. You still look the same as you did back then. I do not think it was possible for you to grow any weaker, Watson. Mithal, I see. Watson suddenly looks and stares at Sir Mithal. Watson, what is going on? This man's real name is Myth, and he is a witch, same as me. It appears that he has been using a power gem to control his real identity. If I haven't been cursed, I would have been able to tell right away. I would not give yourself so much credit. Watson nears his eyes but says nothing. I glance between the two of them, confused. But how do you know him? He secretly works for your mother. I was the one other person who knew of his son as a witch outside the town baron. A witch? I trusted you, Mithal. The king says those words throughout gritting teeth, his face controlled in anger. Sir Mithal flicks a whisk and sudden gesture as he looks amused. What harm you are, hypocrite you are, Sir, Your Majesty. He eyes Watson. You're willing to pay nice with someone's wish, but not others. This base is that drives us witches mad in the first place. Sir Mithal faced the king with a grin. Your human and assumptions are so easy to manipulate. It is pathetic. Mithal. The king changed towards Mithal, his sword held high. Your Majesty, don't. The king's sword never touches Sir Mithal. Sir Mithal only had hold up his hand and suddenly pushing the king back. Crack onto my shelf, knocking my dolls down. Your Majesty, I quickly run up to his side to help him up. Thankful he did not seem to have any burn wounds. To think there was a witch working in the palace this whole time, and not the good kind of witch either. I was too careless. Regarding Your Majesty, I have more prizes for you. I will never forget this betrayal, Mithal. Betray? I'm afraid you have played for a fool this whole entire side, Your Majesty. My loyalty has always been written for Lady Hun and no one else. Myth. I can't imagine what you have hoped to gain all this, but it is long gone. Sir Myth's eyes flash as he turns a certain glance on Watson. His voice is seen with firm when he speaks. Has it not been you, traitor, she would still be here. The king mentioned Watson betrayed. Oh, Sir Mithal calls him a traitor. What exactly did Watson do? Sir Mithal back on me forward and graces his hand. Now, if you please, princess, come with us if you do not want them to get hurt. Watson stands in front of me. I won't let you take her. In your current form, you don't stand a chance. I will make it certain that you'll never break your curse, Watson. This whole thing was a setup, a trap. I'm sorry, Watson. This is my fault. No, it was mine. The reason we came was to break my curse. My eyes once again fled the box on the floor. Neverland is just a few ways from me. Neverland. Austin's eyes follow mine, the box. He leans down and whispers to me. You have to get the box and break my curse. I feel the key inside my pocket. If Walton's true magic indeed seals in the box, my releasing it might give him a chance of victory. And Mythal and Fag do not seem to catch the fact that the object that will break Walton's curse is right in front of their feet. Okay. The king moves to stand beside Walton, drawing his sword once again at a body shield. Your Majesty, I will not let you take this girl. You will not have to go through me first. You can't do that. Rose, I always loved that name. I thought if I had a daughter, I would give her that name. Magic makes even the impossible happen. You must truly be my daughter, yes? Tears start to burn my vision. Oh, how then touching. It seems as if I will just have to deal with you first. No! I rush towards the box the same moment Mythal casts his spell. Bag lunges towards me. His hand reaches for me, but he is too late. By the time he grabs me, I've already entered the key into Neverland and give it one twist to hear a click and box as it pops open. With a flaring light, the room blinds me. Suddenly, I feel an arm around me, holding me tight, protected. When I open my eyes, it is Watson I see. Eventually 7 years older, I still recognize him. Ooh, hi, Watson. Watson. Hey there, little star. Seems like the turn has turned, Myth. Watson grins and I see an expression that I've never seen him before. Sir Mythal frowns, has only become more servant. Fool, I will show you that I am favored pun. Be careful not to hurt the princess, Mythal. Rag's voice is almost tense, but Sir Mythal does not seem to care. I don't plan on it. Sir Mythal glanced his hand and swiped gently, beginning a spell jetting in his fingers. Watson looks at me and smiles reassuring. Now, when I say that I can protect you, Rose, I definitely can. Hello, Watson. Watson holds out his hand just before Sir Mythal's magic reaches us, and suddenly appears in front of us. Sir Mythal's magic. Seems like I'm not as rusty as I thought it'd be. Watson snapped his finger, in fact, creating a dark wave that pushed both Sir Mythal and Fag to the wall. Ugh. Let's go. What do we do now? The order says they are sworn oath to protect. We can rely on them. Also glanced down the hall. His mouth draws to a tight line. I see clearly. I look back at the king. The knight should have been here by now. Surely a command should be letting them running. Now I know why Watson is staring down the hall. He reaches for the knights arm to pass through here. There is no possible way they did not hear the sound in my bedroom. The three of us push forwards. I stand between the king and Watson, waiting. I am not entirely sure what I'm waiting for, but I can feel a tenseness in the air. We only stop moving when voices cut through the silence. Your Majesty. Here Alden stops between us with a group of knights, his face impaled at best. Watson takes a step back as Sir Mythal looks at the king. The king is quiet for a few moments, his eyes draw together as tenses percent. He finally speaks. I'm about to have my statement of end. Where have you been? Seize them. My eyes are still on the knights in front of us when I hear footsteps from behind us. I notice when a dozen knights appear from the shadows and surround us. I look at Frisk in the center of knights, but he's not here. The king stares around him, rough. What is the meaning of this? Could this be the reason why? What is happening? That voice. We all turn and watch the dinner room. Iron enters Em and Rod. Certain knights trail behind us, flanking them on side, giving them no room for escape. Rod notices me and stares in shock, but says nothing. Gentle. The minutes see the king, she calls his name and attempts to run towards us. The knights only raise their sword and block her path. I think that takes care of all the instructions. Though I'm not happy the two managed to escape. Too, Jack and Jill. If they manage to escape, they might be able to get reinforcements. The king will be judged and crowned. His crown will be given to one more worthy. I see. It was you who sent the letter, Arthur. That is correct. Now, if you want to protect your family, you will hand over your crown. The king shakes with rage. This was yours and Mythal's plan all along, to take down the kingdom as its heart. Aaron shorts and crosses his arm. Do not clap me together with that snake. Both of us have different goals. It just so happened that we both needed to be rid of you. What? You are a weak king, Aaron. The king of Adam needs someone who will rule with an iron fist. You are too soft, and your subject have become depending on the kingdom. And how do you propose I run my kingdom? By ending fear. There is no place for fear in this kingdom. It is royal action to assess the fear of his people. I cannot believe that you would do this, Cinderella. Alan looks at me with disgust. Rose, correct? I have no business with you, but I suppose Mythal does. We have been backed into court. What do we do? I feel for my pockets. My hand touched something smooth. A file. I can still remember a potion if you gave us. I hit X, not... I have forgotten, and I had this with me. Perfume told me to use this potion if we found ourselves in a difficult situation. She said to give us time to escape. She did not tell me what it does. I glanced at Walden, who eyes the king quietly. But it's possible that Watson could be able to do something about the situation with his magic. Use the potion first. I reach in the pocket and slip the potion vial out, using my finger just enough for Watson to see. He gives me a sudden nod before turning his attention to Watson, who is still speaking to the king. I will make your regards your action, Sir Alan. I threw the vial to the floor. The moment it shatters, the bright light in the room, forcing my eyes closed. Watson grabs my hands and pulls me away. Don't let them escape. Here, fair God, as Watson begins to bear his through the thoughts. Watson leads me to the throne room. We all somehow managed to make it out. Rod stands between Anna and Ems. Rod must have plenty good eyes to be able to lead them out of the palace chair. Good job back there, Rose. I never realized you had a potion. Perfume gave it to me before she left the meeting. It's a good thing, then. You saved me by using it. You know, using a more complicated spell would have drawn my energy. Why is this happening? Erm's eyes are filled with tears. Anne takes her into her arms and rubs her back in an effort to calm her down. This is my fault. How could I have not foreseen this? Jen was right about him. I should have listened to her. This is not your fault, Your Majesty. We don't have much time. We need to escape and tell Lady Perfield about this. It sounds like Jack and Jill were able to escape. It's possible they will be bringing reinforcements. Rod, you know these people. Rod is silent for a few moments before he nods at her. Yes, they are my friends. Rod just shrugs at me. More likely he just wants us to play along. Watson plays the room, his arms crossed as he tries to think of something. Watson, I haven't done this in a long time, but I've tried to open a portal that leads us back to Mythal. Witches can do that? Only the most practiced witches. It only works if they have a clear image of where to go. You can do it. I can. I have taught by your mother, after all. Lawson stares, waves his hand in front of him, and casts the spell, opening the portal. But the portal disappears as soon as it appears, and it fades again. Damn it. They are coming, Watson. I'm doing my best, Princess. Come on, Watson. Watson tries to cast the spell again. This time, open appears and stays. I did it. But this time, it won't be open for long. Your Majesty, you must go first. No. Let Arden and children go first. Watson nods. Arden aims in the portal, rod and steps, and I focus the portal before me. I can't keep the portal much longer, Rose. I can imagine only one more person before again. Your Majesty, you must go. No. What? I do not have any intention of leaving this place, abandoning my kingdom. I will not flee like a coward. I will protect my throne until the last breath. But that would be suicide. He will not kill me. He may have managed to storm my orb, but I have the people on my side. Killing me will cause an uproar. This is the last thing he will want. But if the king escapes, he would be able to fight from the outside of the castle, and his crowns are stone, but he is dangerous himself out here. I glance at Walter and nose upon him. I can tell magic snapping his strength, making him weak. I ball my fist in. I cannot leave the king here by myself. He is the king, and I am the crown princess. Walton, will come back for me, all right? What are you? Before he can reject, I pull my hands on his back and push him through the strength I can muster. Walton seems in honor as he falls into the portal. I am sorry. Walton disappeared, and the portal collapsed into itself, leaving me and the king. Both of my minds and heart are numb as the king appeared, ready to surround us. The king and I sat on the floor with our hands tied behind our backs. There are two knights standing by the door watching over us. I look at the king, who remains quiet and silent as before. He has been so calm. Does he have a plan? Why is that you chose to stay with me? I am surprised when he finally breaks the silence, because there are questions I need to answer. Besides, I cannot just leave you here. I have many things I need to ask you. The king guard falls silent as he stares at me. Gold of eyes clear reflect my own. I've never realized how similar our eyes were. Is it true? Are you really my daughter? Yes. I was given the fairy tale curse to turn into a peasant. My title was stolen from me, from the mind of the people. No one remembers who I am anymore. Cinderella. How did you know? I noticed the glass slipper necklace on your neck, but the other slipper seems to be missing a piece. A piece? I look down and stare at the second slipper. My eyes widen, beginning to notice the piece is bigger. Wow, we got a second piece. But when did this happen? I then muttered, I broke Walson's curse. Was it when I broke Walson's curse? This means I only have one more good deed left, but my birthday is tomorrow. Are you alright? Yes, I'm just worried. You have been through so much today. Try and get some rest. You must reroute your energy. I'm unsure what he means, but either way, there is no way I could possibly sleep now. At least this is what I told myself, but as moments pass, I feel my eyes getting heavy. Eventually, I drift into dreamless sleep. Rose, you must wake up. I blink a few moments when I come to find I am leaning on the king's shoulder. I fell asleep. The king glanced back to the door, his eyes narrowed slightly as he takes a deep breath. It's time to go. What? I turn towards the front doors and realize the night guards are missing. They will be back soon. We must hurry. I am surprised when the king pulls out the ropes we were behind him. His small knife in his hand. How long have you been out of his blinds? When did you free us? I think I've been sort of honored. I have been trained just as well as the knights. It's gone without saying. I get myself out of binds. I'm not so weak that I need to rely on others to protect me. sounds like something I would say. But where did you get the knife? They made sure we take everything we had. Weapons. Would it say I pull it out from my hanky spot? Not many people think to look in a person's boots. The king lies down and cuts my binds, then lowers himself to the ground. My finger brushes the fin. What are you doing? Find the key. Ah, here it is. He pulls out a small key from his pocket and finds clearing the floor. He gives a generous rumble. The king pulls the tile from the floor and removes the hidden stairway. There was a hidden stairway here in the floor? Escape roof, if one ever needed. One I know exists. Now we must go before they return. I nod and follow him. The king set up the palm as it displayed in the darkness. The floor remains once more, hidden pathway closed behind us. Awesome. Both of us walk in silence for some time. The only sound we hear are each other's footsteps. I'm behind the king, staring at his back. He seems to have already recovered his early energy. Or he could be just pretending he is alright. How is your back? It doesn't hurt as much. Thank you for asking. Sighing kind once again. This is getting awkward. Maybe I should say something. I could not stay in silence any longer and speak up before I lose my nerves. I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? What are you apologizing for? Because I have done nothing but cause you trouble. Rod told me once when I disappeared the king was happier he ever been because I was not there. I am sure if you had been given the choice to forgive me or not, you would have chose to forgive me. No, it feels like I have been the curse of your pain, not that other way around. I feel as I should have been one apologizing. I've been worried for a while. If you are dating my daughter, why do you address me by my title? Do you not call me father? I stepped in trails and turned away. It's been years since I called you that. You never were there for me, so I stopped considering you as my father. I am silent fall upon us. I'm sorry. Can you tell me why you sent yourself from me? The king looked at me slightly, something like in his eye. I wanted to zap myself for a foolish question. My apologies. I forgot you do not remember me. You know, I have learned many things since I have been cursed, but the thing that I've learned do not answer my questions. I have thought that by staying here, I would finally chance upon some answers, some truth. I've always thought that only Mother loved me because you were never there for me. I'm sorry I never gave you the answer you're seeking. Well, I can say surely why you would hate me. I am a witch's daughter, after all. Do you not know what transpired in the past? You mean with Mother? I didn't threaten to kill the people I love. If I did not marry her. She threatened to kill all of her own. The king looked down, his face covered with anger. Review said Mother already broke their rules long before she took over the kingdom. Her hands are always stained with blood. I won't let any more of my loved ones die in my hands. I had no choice back then. I married her because I refused to let her hurt Aldrin. I hated that woman for ruining my life and my kingdom. I know. I recalled when he apologized to Wilson for something that had transpired in the past. Can you tell me who Wilson is? Wilson, he was independent. He was powerful. The second strongest along the lineage, really. He was a child prodigy. This is why Wilson ordered his family killed when they refused to give him to her. Wilson did not find out about that much until much later. Mother killed Wilson's family. I cannot believe this. Just how many lives did she take? When he did find out, he betrayed her. He turned her plans to the fairy tales and helped them defeat her. Thank you, King, but we must go because we have reached the hour mark. Peace, guys.